thank you for my comfort. They're raining down on me.
Right, we are back. Tadzokaje. We are right here on 3K TV, channel 293 Transformations with yours truly, Pastor G. And we're talking to a phenomenal woman. And we've just been catching up on the background, who is Nyenge, where she's coming from. So Nyenge, you're in this little place called Shabani Mine. My dad worked for ZMDC at Zimbabwe Mining Development Corporation. And I remember around 1985, he worked there. He was a human resources manager. And I remember coming to that little town, Shabani, and there was one street. And there was one Greek shop. And I think there was okay. And those were the only highlights.
Actually, there was one Greek shop, Acropolis, that you're right. And then the other one was actually business. We didn't have an okay for so many years, eh? Yeah. They were like, we didn't have an okay. It was like the Greek and the Portuguese who were running the town.
You go to high school. After high school, where was that?
I went to Girls College. I went back to Bulawayo.
Right.
So from Form 1 to Form 6, I was a boarder. I was at Girls College. And then from Girls College, I went to UCT. I took a gap year. Then I went to UCT, University of Cape Town.
And why the gap year?
You know what? I actually, my uncle, my dad, my mom's brother believed that I was supposed to be a star. So he kept saying, "You want to end overseas, you must go to America or the UK."
Yes.
And he was trying to get a scholarship. He was trying to do stuff in the background. But in the meantime, I was thinking, you know what? I just want to take a gap year. It was when gap years were coming, and I was just thinking, I want to rest. I want to just do other things. But come halfway through there, I was getting bored. I then applied to UCT, and this American thing never happened. But I just got a chance to go to UCT then. And
after UCT? After
UCT, I then came back to Zim for the love of my husband, then boyfriend. I went and I was working for Rekkie Benkaiser. I got in right from junior position. I was a trainee brand manager. I had studied marketing because my undergrad was actually psychology and sociology, industrial sociology. That was my undergrad. And then I did a an honors in marketing.
And in that marketing field, that's exactly how I began to get to know about Nyenge Mahaka. Because, as artists, we normally look for opportunities to partner with brands. And I was talking to my wife, Pamela, I say, Shamari, why don't you talk to Nyenge? She's the one in charge of. And then you guys will begin to partner with a lot of huge brands and a lot of other events that you were sponsoring. And man, you left a huge dent on that on the marketing universe. You had an impact on the marketing landscape of Zimbabwe. Kudos to you. So Rickett and Coleman, Kaiser.
It was Rickett and Coleman, then it was Rekkie Benkaiser. So those were my formative, and I was taught a lot. It was a multinational. We had opportunities to travel. Go to the Dubai office, Kenya office, UK, but we learned so much, and that's where my grounding was. Even my understanding, I'm passionate. So I get so excited when I talk about marketing. I'm very passionate about marketing and making an impact. So we really changed the marketing landscape ourselves, and I think Unilever at the time. Yeah. And Juliet was the head of marketing. Yes. We were literally almost competing. Juliet was at Unilever, and I was Ricketts. We're literally always competing. We're competing on the marketing space, but obviously we're good friends on the side, but we always used to chat. But we had impactful campaigns, like we did the Nugget campaign, we did Dettol. Dettol was so small in Zimbabwe, and they kept telling us that you'd never be able to grow this brand. And then we told them, look, we can grow them. They're like, no, you can't. So we pushed, and then we launched a whole lot of products in 1 year, and we had a huge campaign targeted at children. Because they said, once you have once you have very children.
Well. That's how impactful it was. I remember it. Now, talking about impact, Nyenge, you go to Simas, you're done with the Simas thing. Then comes this huge event that you throw at Newlands Country Club. Tell me, how did you morph and pivot towards, now hosting your own events? the Nyenge brand, it was no longer just Nyenge marketing manager for Ricket and Kaiser, or marketing director for Siemens, or this entity, but it was now Nyenge Try Mahaka, media catalyst, event catalyst. Tell me more about that. You do this great event featuring Batsetsena Kumalo.
Yeah, so I just take a little bit. So when I was at Siemens, I launched the IGO, the wellness program.
So you launched IGO?
I launched IGO. I launched, that was my baby. I literally launched IGO, and the concept we came up with IGO with Shift Engage. That was the agency that we worked with. But yeah, that was what I did while I was at Siemens. I launched and I rebranded. But while I was working there with the wellness space now, I became so passionate. I was already passionate about people, but I became really passionate about seeing transformation in people. You know, that time it was on the health side, but also just understanding how people think and everything. So when I left Siemens, I kind of like was fired. But yeah, when I left Siemens,
you know.
when I left Siemens, I then went and started True Reflections, which was a marketing and media business. But my focus was really to work with people and to change people's lives. Then I started coming up with this campaign called, the event called I Am Women's Conference. My idea was this event should be a transformational event for women, where we look at our past. We all have a past. Some of us have a very traumatic past. So I wanted people to come and speak to the past, and then to speak to the present, and to speak to the future.
Come on.
So
anointing.
So those were the speakers that I tried to get, to get speakers who talk about our trauma. So everyone kept saying to me, what you're trying to do is it's not going to work. How do you bring in these kind of people? And then I said, then I want Basisani to come, because I think she has a great story.
Yes.
And from being Miss South Africa, but to becoming this impact, this powerhouse of a woman, in media. And people were like, you won't be able to get her. You as who will you be able to get someone like Basisani?
Those are the days of drama magazines. And those are the people who would be on the front
the front cover, And so I then managed to get her agents, thanks to Zila. Zila knew someone who knew Basisani, and we managed to get to her. And she came and we set this thing up. It was amazing. The week before, I tell you, it was a struggle setting up that event.
Let's get into that just now. Listen, you're watching Transformations. We are talking about impact for women. And we have an impactful, transformational, inspirational woman with us, Nyenge Mahaka. Don't touch that remote. We'll be back.
Thank you for my confidence.